So hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Felicia Rubenstein. I'm the founder of HAYVN. And I have to say, I think the fonts are funky on your screen, but that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. But so HAYVN is a co-working space based in Fairfield County. It's actually in Darien, right off the highway, so conveniently located. Um, and um, it's if you can go to the next slide. Okay, so it is a place where people can connect, create, and grow on their professional journey. And it's women centric, but men are allowed and welcome here. About 20% of the members are men. It's a really flexible and supportive environment, and we have some people on right now that are members of the space. And we have all sorts of programming to help you start or grow your business or just manage your career. So we had decided to create this program, HAYVN HUB Internship. It was basically, again, because it is a community of supportive people, someone had come up with the idea. It's like, hey, there's all these people out there, girls that are looking for, to be inspired or do something for the summer. And we have a lot of businesses in the community that need the help. So it would be great to have this matching program, which we're calling HAYVN HUB. And so that's kind of how everything works at HAYVN. People have ideas, and then we, as a group, put together and try to implement things and solve problems. So Heitza had just asked me to tell you a little bit about HAYVN in general. So if I can just, you can go to the next slide. I'm going to just kind of do like a who, what, where, why. So like I said, my name's Felicia. Just a little bit about my background. My background is I was an engineer by education. Always wanted to be an inventor, and in my time, the word entrepreneur didn't exist. So that's why I went to school for engineering. If I had known about an entrepreneurial program, I would have done that instead. But I worked hard through the engineering program, went out afterwards, graduated, got a job that I hated. My first job was designing battle tanks, which was absolutely not.
Did you say battle tanks?
Battle tanks. I was designing battle tanks because at the time it was there was a recession, and it was hard to get a job, even though I was like in the STEM engineering world. So that's what I was stuck with. But every opportunity, every job and that I took, I tried to take the most out of it, and it always helped me with my next position. And so really, like, HAYVN is kind of like a combination of everything that I've done in my life, and this is kind of my pinnacle. And so if, I hope that you guys have a chance to come here and see it, but you'll see it's really like I created the space for what I wanted. And I think there's a lot of other women that have gone through this life journey that also need something like this. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, maybe just go back 1 second. I just wanted to finish a couple other things. Yeah. So I just, in terms of a combination, HAYVN is for entrepreneurs, but it's also for people who work in Fortune 500 companies, as well as people who are starting in a business, or just maybe a lot of times women go through this journey where they've had kids and they might have stopped working, lost their confidence, but a way to get back into the workforce. So these are all things that I've experienced myself. So I've tried to create thought about it and try to create opportunities for wherever you are in your professional career. So we'll go to the next slide.
And you've only been around for a year. I just have to pause for a second, because we're talking about HAYVN like it's always been there. You went through some things to really bring it together, right?
Yeah, yes. So it's you can have this idea, and and I sat and thought about it a lot, but there was a lot of steps that I had to do to try to launch something like this, and there's a lot of obstacles along the way. But when you have a passion and the support of a lot of people, which throughout, just kind of forming the community, it helped me create this space. And, I have to say right now, it's another obstacle having the COVID situation, where as a co-working space where people, one of our biggest things was we had a lot of events in the space, and really, the whole thing about people connecting with people is so important, and so definitely had to pivot. And we've done a lot of things to like this, what we're doing now, this internship program. So kind of taking, so someone kind of gave me this term once. They said, obstacles created your path. So for every obstacle that I've hit, you create another path and an angle. So kind of try to turn it into an opportunity. So, okay.
Okay.
So I was going to just talk about the team. So again, it's not just me. We have an amazing team. These are our community managers that work in the space. And during COVID, everybody has been working remotely, and we just reopened June 1st. So we have Kathy, Malou, Samantha, Teresa, and Britt, and everybody has their own roles. And now we're thrilled to have Catherine aboard for the summer, who's been helping us with the whole internship program and launching it. So kind of looking at where people, when something comes into your path and grabbing that opportunity, having Catherine has been amazing. So, okay.
Thank you.
So, okay, so what? So what is, okay, so if for those who don't know what co-working is, it's a space, it's actual a physical work environment where you can be together and work creatively, and full-time, part-time come into the space. We have private offices and flex offices, and in times pre-COVID, it was a blast to be here. And now I think we've kind of created this online community, but we've been doing things outside in a safe area, as well as reopen the space to make it COVID friendly. But it's amazing what the magic happens when you are in a co-working space. Okay, next slide. And the value, I think I've just alluded to this, it's a lot of value to members. If for right now, even just having the quiet space to work without interruption with the private offices, you have the shared resources, opportunities to grow your business, and having that sense of community and support is super valuable to members. Okay. So why did I create this? I kind of alluded to this, but this is just a trend in the world. Does it have more? I may have to step through that. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like this presentation I used for a pitch to talk to banks to try to raise money to build out HAYVN, and it's kind of accelerated. Just co-working is a trend, and they were saying by 2030, like most offices, at least like 30 or 40% of commercial offices would have a co-working community option. But because of COVID, it's kind of accelerated. And I think this trend is going to be, now that this is the way people are going to want to work at home, but they also want to maybe a couple days a week have the community and just feel connected. So it's really a place, and these were just some reasons why co-working was happening. I think you can keep clicking through. Okay. So we were trying to convince corporations to do this, but now the experiment has actually worked, and people do want to work at home, and companies do want to help them kind of have the feeling of being in an environment. So that's co-working. Okay, next slide. And who's using our space? So we have a lot of small businesses, corporate users. We have some people who are in larger companies, and the companies are paying to make their corporate employees happy, as well as freelancers that are, all sorts of creatives, social media people, marketing people. And you can like look at on our space, as you're meeting some of the people in the space, you'll see what they're doing. Go ahead, slide. So this is our target market. We have mothers who are returning to work, people who have lost their jobs and trying to get that next job, entrepreneurs, local organizations, small businesses, and corporations. You can, I think there's like 3 slides. And I chose to focus on the women because I feel like, you know, there's a lot of women have other issues with trying to do that whole work-life balance. And women are starting the businesses now. If you can just like click through to again.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So basically women are the kind of the ones who are starting the businesses, and especially in Connecticut. There's 849 businesses are started every day by women. So hopefully we'll see that happen with you guys too at some point. And Connecticut, there's such a wealth of smart women, and a lot of them have taken that career break to raise you guys, and now they're ready to jump back into work. So that's kind of the focus at our space. Yeah, you can click through this. This was just my stats on Fairfield County. There's also so many supportive groups for women in Fairfield County, and a lot of them meet here at Haven. Okay. So how did I create this? So the offerings, just click through. I didn't realize I had a build on this, so I apologize. So we'll just try to show the whole side.
Awesome.
Keep going.
Any questions from anybody? Questions to Felicia or questions about Haven?
You can put them in chat too. But, okay, just keep clicking through. Okay, so these are, so, yeah, this is good just right here. So just some of the offerings at Haven I kind of had talked about. We have, there's one more picture there. We have day passes, memberships of social memberships. You can rent meeting rooms, private offices, or have a dedicated desk. We've also added a lot of virtual options where you can just have a virtual office with mail get delivered here. And so you don't, and just so you can have meetings here, so you don't have to have someone come to your house. Okay. And the big thing that is we have is a lot of events, and we would like to invite you guys to participate in any of them that you're interested in. I'll just kind of pull out a couple. Catherine had invited the group to Haven Hatch, which was the other night, which was our pitch night, which similar to Shark Tank, but we call it Dolphin Tank because it's nice and kind. And so we had 5 female founders present, and we try to support them to help them grow their businesses. We also have something called Haven Health, which is cut off in the bottom here. But September is going to be the month of health, and focus on that, and maybe to help people get rid of their COVID-19 pounds that they gained over during the virus. But we will have yoga and nutrition and some cooking classes and different things like that. So you're welcome to attend those. That's all going to be virtual. We also have career forums where people will talk to other, like companies will talk to women about like what's happening in the career. Like actually I'm kind of, so tomorrow we have one on flexible workplace and what does that mean for women now. So we'll be having a series of forums as well as other community events. Okay, you can next slide. And so since we started, we've had over 100, actually I would say now 200 events, because we've had all the virtual events. And this is what it looked like before, but now obviously it's going to be socially distanced events. But okay, next slide. Okay, so this is just a picture of our building, and you can see out here we have a fitness center. We're on the 2nd floor. We have half the 2nd floor, and it's a beautiful space, totally renovated. Okay. And a lot of events now. I'm getting a tent so we can do more things outside through October.
Right.
Yeah. And this is kind of what it looks like inside. We have a fitness center and the conference room. This is a group called 203. I don't know if you know that company. It's 2 they did a podcast. We have a podcast room, but they did it out of our space. And we have a beautiful kitchen that's like what you enter into, and coffee served. And usually Carolyn, who's also looking for an intern here, has goodies and snacks in our kitchen. Right now it's pretty quiet, but you know, we'll get there. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so this was just my contact information if anybody has any questions for me. But at this point, I want to turn it over to Heitza and Catherine to talk more about the program.
Okay, thank you for that. I just want to stop sharing for a second and just check in. Any comments about what you just heard? We wanted to give you a sense of Haven, the community it is, of all the powerful women there and the businesses that they are creating. And just so you know, I know that some of you are going to do a lot of virtual internships, but in case there's an opportunity to come to the Haven space, we wanted you to see how it looks like.